A few years ago, I got to go to a place that the media calls the most toxic place on Earth. A place riddled with heavy metal toxins. Smithsonian Magazine put it at the top of the top 10 list of the most dangerously polluted places on the planet. A place routinely maligned by the media as one of the worst places a human being could exist. But things aren't always what they seem, and things don't last forever either. So my question is, what happened to Agbogbloshie? A place referred to by the media as e-waste hell.
So today I'm here in Accra, Ghana, in a place called Agbogbloshie, and it's supposed to be the world's largest e-waste dump. The question that entered my mind is, has anybody done an update on what's happened here?
It all started a few years ago when I started noticing news stories about Africa's e-waste nightmare. Whatever you wanted to call it, it was said to be the most toxic e-waste dump on the planet. I like to travel. I like to explore different places all over the world, so I went there. And this is what I found.
I'm here in Ghana.
The first thing you should understand is Agbogbloshie is rather small in size. It's half the size of a normal city park, maybe 20 acres. That's 15 football pitches. When I was driving up to it, the thing that was running through my mind was, where is it? All I saw was tons and tons of people, markets, carts, lots of onions. It's part of an onion market, actually. And at first, I saw no staggeringly large waste dump like the news reports had depicted. I will say, in general, this place was really harsh. The first thing that hits you when you get out of your air-conditioned vehicle is the 100-degree heat and near 100% humidity, and yet no clouds in the sky. But that's life on the equator. The second thing that hits you is the cacophony of sounds and music, people talking and the banging and the clanging of people smashing metal. I quickly found out the hard way that this place was run by an organized mafia-like gang who, when we first tried to get inside, sent 5 big men who angrily told us to leave. And we did. We were all exhausted, and when we got home to where we were staying, I had my friend Cliff give us a recap of the day's adventures.
My name is Cliff Ankara. And today I tried to get my cameraman into Agbogbloshie dumping site, industrial dumping site for electronics. This has been reported internationally. Right from the back when we started, we had 2 guys coming to us, wouldn't allow us to take videos and pictures without coming to see them. I mean, as a usual thing, to pay something before they allow us to take videos and know what's going on there.
When Cliff took us in today, we weren't able to get in to the place safely, and we decided to call it a day and head home.
The next day, Cliff, my fixer, arranged for a meeting with a local imam who gave me a hard look up and down when we met. And then, to my relief, he invited me into his tent and offered me tea. The media like to call this place e-waste hell, but if you look at it from another perspective, it's actually a scrapyard or a recycling facility. After I got inside, I saw men and women of working age and occasionally children walking back and forth, each with a mission of their own. There were even school children passing through the yard to go to school. The people in here were actually entrepreneurs. They saw an opportunity to make money. They saw an opportunity to strip wire of its plastic, to leave the metal behind, and that metal is sold off at market rate. While researching this place, I noticed the media said that America is dumping our e-waste on them. But with just a little bit of research, I found that was not true. Media reports from Fox and Al Jazeera distorted the story. These news outlets also incorrectly said that most of the waste that ends up at Agbogbloshie came from America. This is wrong. The majority of it is in fact transported here from other parts of Ghana itself. They also incorrectly implied that it was e-waste, giving the people the image that it was mobile phone parts and other computer parts. Actually, here, e-waste is more like anything that has wires in it, like automobiles, trucks, and appliances. Appliances like washing machines. I quickly noticed that everyone here seemed to have a strong work ethic. They weren't getting rich, but many of them I spoke to told me it's better than begging. There is no doubt that Agbogbloshie is really harsh. It's hot, it's dirty, it's dusty, and it's dangerous. It's not fun, but it's a place where people go to work.
Agbogbloshie is this really deprived settlement in the heart of the city in many respects, extraordinary. There's a marketplace, and right beside it, there's a lagoon. And Ghanaians who were fleeing war in northern Ghana, they had to leave in droves and buses, just trying to understand the context. This is the kind of community, no real infrastructure, just right there. And so the lagoon even becomes a dumping ground, and so on. And I guess pretty much a lot of that territory is occupied by people at the barest of society's ladder, and they are just scrapping and picking and doing scrap metal and doing things. But listen, pushing carts along and getting stuff done and paying their whatever bill it is they pay. They're not standing there begging me for money. I always want people to understand that. Agbogbloshie has a side to it where there was a lot of dumping of electronic products at the time, a lot of stuff, and people were ripping fridges and telescreens, televisions, everything apart, looking for me, whatever. And it really was, in many ways, hell. But things have changed. I mean, something is happening for the better. It's not the way it always has been. There you are. Can you imagine if you come into Ghana and one of the major things you do when you go away to show Africa is to go and show them a film of Agbogbloshie? I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine what you do to a people's perception of another people by presenting them like that? There is so much more in this city to see other than that electronic waste dump site. Use the influence of media to make it actually become better. The media is not just there to keep showcasing what's there all the time. It's easy to say, well, that's not our responsibility. You have to understand the context, historical context, cultural context, the overall picture. And I think it's the heart of transforming Ghana into a place that earns the respect of the world. This is what it must be. We must be a country that other people want to come to as well. That's my definition of a great country. It's not just a country whose people love it, but a country where other people aspire to go.
Following on what David told me, one of the most interesting things I saw while filming there were the well-dressed ladies walking by. They had trays of food and snacks and bags of juice balanced on their heads. These women were immaculate. Their clothes were very clean, and they walked with poise and purpose. And then I realized that these were food vendors. These were the lunch ladies of Agbogbloshie. These people were also entrepreneurs. They were bringing food to the workers. I think what I learned from going to Agbogbloshie is it was just one small area within a city of 2 million people. That there was so much more going on in Accra, a normal, large, world-class, bustling city. I think the media does a huge disservice to Ghana because we're always portraying the things that people don't have instead of looking at what they do have. Agbogbloshie is a place that started out as a huge open-air onion market. Farmers from the north of Ghana moved to the big city to find work and wound up laboring in the scrapyards to make money by selling metal by the pound.
So we're just finishing up here in Agbogbloshie, and we were looking for electronics waste, and I'm just not finding as much as they were talking about in the media reports of these vast mountains of computers. And maybe that's because they've cleaned the place up, or because there never was all that much to begin with by proportion. So I would say it's definitely not the largest e-waste processing facility in the world.
Then, in 2021, the Ghanaian government ordered bulldozers and soldiers to come in and use considerable force to totally demolish Agbogbloshie.
And also, what I'm picking is that they've started pelting stones at the security officers running this particular.
So for now, it appears Agbogbloshie is gone. And all that remains is 20 acres of heavily contaminated soil.
So that's it. Agbogbloshie is gone. It's no more. The people that worked there purchased 50 hectares of land about 75 kilometers from the center of Accra. They had hopes of continuing their work, but when I did a little bit of research, I found out that local authorities had denied them the permits to operate there. So when you're watching videos on the internet saying it's the most toxic place on earth, well, that's no longer the case. So that's it from this episode of Forgotten World.